Does your website need a privacy policy? If yes, what disclosures are you required to make? So there is so much confusion regarding what goes into a privacy policy and if even someone needs it in the first place. And since I talk about privacy policies all day, every day, I decided I'm going to put this video together to kind of shed some light on what this is all about. Why do policies exist like privacy policies, how they can help you avoid fines and lawsuits, but also if you just need one at all. So yeah, my name is Hans. I'm one of the co-founders of Termageddon. Please note I'm providing this video for informational purposes only, and it should not be considered legal advice. All right, so a privacy policy is not always needed for websites. So there's one big takeaway right out the gate. A website privacy policy starts to become a requirement if your website collects personal information. So personal information are things that can be used to identify a person. So do you have a contact form on your website where people submit their name and email? Or are you using security tools or analytics tools behind the scenes where you're collecting things like IP addresses? These are examples where websites could collect personal information, and that is when the alarm bell should go off, thinking to yourself, okay, that is when privacy laws can start applying to me. So that is when I need to consider if I need a privacy policy or not. A privacy policy is just a statement that you provide on your website that explains your privacy practices as a website owner. It talks about personal information you collect, what you do with that information, and who you share that information with. What website owners need to understand is that it is privacy laws that require a privacy policy to be provided, and each privacy law has its own very specific disclosures that you need to make to your privacy policy to comply with those laws. So providing a privacy policy that provides the disclosures you're required to make is what helps you limit your liability as a website owner and reduce your chances of being fined or sued for privacy law non-compliance. So the very first question you need to ask yourself, do I collect personal information? That's question number one, because if no, you do not need a privacy policy. If yes, it is now time to figure out which privacy laws apply to you so that you can determine which disclosures you need to make. So there are generators out there like Termageddon. There are also attorneys out there. Nothing beats having your attorney, draft your policies based on the laws that apply to you and then keep your policies up to date when those laws change. But you may also want to consider a generator. It is kind of a plan B to hiring an attorney who can provide you legal advice. Policy generators are not legal service providers, but a good policy generator will take you through a questionnaire to help you figure out which privacy laws apply to you, and then their questionnaire will adapt and ask you the questions necessary to make the disclosures you're specifically required to make under applicable privacy laws. Privacy law fines start at $2,500 per website visitor whose rights you've infringed upon. So, if you find yourself to be non-compliant with CPRA, California's second privacy law, for example, the fine would be $2,500 per website visitor from California whose rights you've infringed upon. And that kind of leads me into another big takeaway is that privacy laws protect people. They don't really care where your business is located. So you as a website owner need to find out whose personal information are you collecting, and is that personal information protected and regulated under privacy laws, and what disclosures do you need to make to comply with those laws and provide compliant privacy policies on your website. All right, well, that went way faster than I expected, but I hope that gives you like a high level overview of what privacy policies are, why they exist, and how they can help you respect your website visitors' privacy rights while limiting your liability and helping comply with these laws. If you like this video and want to subscribe, we are going to cover more and more about website policies just in general. So yeah, I know subscribing to something about privacy changes may not sound like the most exciting thing in the world, but the reality is this is a constantly changing industry. And because we as website owners could collect data from anywhere in the US or world for that matter, it may be a good idea to get ahead of this, and subscribing to our channel may be a good way to start to get acclimated with this offering. All right, I hope that was helpful, and yeah, talk to you later.